So the Golden State Warriors get their 7th win in a row. The big story tonight, though, DeMarcus Cousins making his Golden State Warriors debut. 14 points, 6 rebounds. Andre Iguodala, after the game, spoke with Kareth Burke. Why are we here?
I'm sorry.
This man's like, I gotta go play golf. Boogie's like, I've never been this open. Am I allowed to shoot this much? And they're just, what? You're laughing because it is that ridiculous now that we've seen Boogie on the court displaying the skill set.
I was just telling Steve Kerr, thank you. That's all I was doing. Thank you, Steve. No, I'm teasing because I've been watching this since the very first players-only game. Steve said, okay, we're not allowing cameras in because Boogie was doing one-on-one full court. So I was able to watch it. So when I came back, I think if you remember back right before Thanksgiving, I said, hey, Steve Kerr said I can say he's running, he's doing one-on-one full court. Then a few days after that, he came out there, he's been practicing with the G League. So all the things that we've been hearing, now we're seeing not finished product, but we see the product now, Boozer, of the hard work he's been doing since the injury.
Yeah, that's the progression, man. He's done a great job of keeping himself in great shape. He looks slim to me. I remember him being bigger when he played with the Pelicans. But the things I wanted to see, he did. He ran the floor very well. He got open shots. He took a shot with confidence. The dunk, the first play, getting above the rim, like those things is what you want to see in the first game, and he'll build off that.
And now we also see a stretch 5 for the Golden State Warriors. I mean, you're a shooter. You're just giggling over here thinking about the idea of Andre Iguodala says, yeah, you're open, Boogie. Shoot the 3.
Playing with, a guy like Penny Hardaway who was just, sometimes unselfish to a fault. And now you're with a team now that's willing. You just heard Iggy, man, keep shooting. Keep shooting. Steph, Katie, keep shooting. They want that. They're unselfish. They understand when you play well, we play well. Because we know when we play well, you're going to play well. And the ball will continue to hop and continue to share. So you watch this play right here. First play of the game, you talked about Booz. You set the elbow screen, and then you roll straight to the basket with some strength. You look for him to go up, how he comes down with confidence. Look at the bench go crazy. Now the other elbow, we're talking about the patience. This is normally Draymond Green in the pinch post. You're waiting. I got Steph Curry. I got Klay Thompson. Take your pick. Now we talk about the passing, right? Now it's passing. Now defense, you contest. You have other rebounds like Draymond. Now get out and run. You bump into one of the opposing team. You get the ball, and you finish the play. Now you get back on defense. To Cousins' point, he's never been on a team like this, maybe since college with John Wall, the one-and-done team in Kentucky with all that talent, maybe?
Oh, no.
Huh? Maybe?
No, not even, no.
Okay. Thank you.
No.
See?
The greatest shooter of all time, right? Maybe the greatest backcourt in shooting-wise of all time, right?
There's no more
we're
question.
going to have a discussion.
There's no more question with that.
Kevin Durant, 2-time in a row Finals MVP.
Arguably the best small forward at his size.
Iceberg
right?
Slim.
Come on, man. Come on.
we're Draymond Green. And don't forget, Andre Iguodala was an all-star in his career when he came.
Yes.
He was the one they paid to come there.
MVP of the Finals.
And Finals MVP. Never been a team like this.
Now the one thing, okay, let's try to get specific here because this is getting ridiculous.
It's fun.
But when Boogie on the fast break running the court to receive the pass, that's really the key there in the sense of if he's going to hustle like that, if he's going to work hard like that, it's going to be a really, really big problem for other teams.
Yeah, if you see it right there, if he's willing to do some of the dirty work that the old guys have done, like JaVale McGee and Bogut we talked about, these guys are centers that were skilled in different areas. Boogie has all that in one body. He can do inside, he can go outside, he can be physical, he can rebound, he can run, he can play defense when he's motivated. And you can tell right now, the first game, he's motivated to get back and play basketball. So I think this is a great stepping stone. It's great to see Boogie back out there. Looking forward to seeing more good things.
And as far as the hustle is concerned, okay, 6 fouls in just 14 minutes, right? Or what is it? Yeah, 14 minutes. He scored 14 points. He also had 6 fouls. That's almost a positive in the sense of, hey, he's working hard trying to prove to these guys that he's willing to play defense because changing the narrative on his career is important in that regard.
That's the biggest thing because everyone, for all the non-believers and the people who are not on the Boogie bandwagon are sitting at home right now kind of chewing that popcorn like, man, I didn't think he was going to come back right. I didn't think he was going to take care of his body. I didn't think he was going to – all those I didn't think, well, this was the first day. The first game of many to come. Now, the question for me, Chris, and Booze, and for people at home is tomorrow morning. How sore is he?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Massage, the ice down. Now, that part of now, can I put the second game, the third game, the fourth game, until all that soreness goes away and you get back to your basketball legs? That's when things get very interesting.
And we've heard Steve Kerr speak on it in spurts.
Yeah, exactly.
In small doses, we'll see.
No rush. If you're giving us this now, and we know we got the All-Star break, then you kind of rejuvenate a little bit, you kind of change gears, and then now you get into 14 minutes, 20 minutes, 24 minutes, and hopefully by late March, early April, you're into real good basketball shape, and now you're really feeding well off everything else we're talking about. Yeah, Western Conference, they're going to have to tighten some things up.
It was a one-point game at the half, and the last time the Clippers faced the Warriors, Los Angeles shot 78% from three-point range and lost. So you have to think, that's just a defeating feeling playing against the Warriors.
The Bay Area.
Pacers were blown out by Philly last night. You saw that on TNT, but still sitting third in the Eastern Conference, 44 games into the season, thanks in large part to a healthy Victor Oladipo, who recently sat down with Roz Gold on Wood A.
Victor Oladipo is just a fantastic basketball player.
He had a breakout year last year for the Pacers, and he looks great here in the season already.
Oladipo to the rim.
Shake him up, Vic.
Here's Oladipo, 3 seconds.
Race up.
Oladipo to win it.
Another one! Victor Oladipo, this is your city.
What have you found it takes to bear the responsibility of being the leader and the face of this franchise?
A lot goes into it, you know what I mean? And too much is given, much is required. And I've been hearing that for like every day for the past year. It's been tough, man. You gotta know what to say and when to say it, but at the same time, you gotta listen. I think being a leader is something that you have to learn how to do. There are natural born leaders, but there's some aspects of leadership that are things that you have to continuously learn from the people you surround yourself with, from your teammates. For me, I'm learning that every day. I'm learning my teammates. I'm learning what they like, what they dislike, and just about their everyday life. And also with leadership comes sacrifice. Sacrifice for yourself, sacrificing your time, and doing whatever it takes to help your team win. And that's what I'm locked in and focused on.
You have a pretty balanced roster, a number of guys scoring in double digits. Does that balance kind of take the pressure off a little?
In general, yeah. I mean, it's hard to guard us. You can double me, but I'm throwing it to Domas, and Domas is throwing it to whoever else is open. Or I'm throwing it to Miles, and Miles is throwing it to whoever else is open, or they're shooting their shot. So we got a lot of depth, and we got a lot of good players who can make things happen. But I never had a lot of pressure on me to begin with. So whether they double me or not, I don't feel any pressure. I just got to go out there and play.
Has your team earned respect yet? What is the respect you feel your team deserves right now?
I mean, being with them every day, I believe we earn a lot of respect. We deserve a lot of respect, but I don't think guys give it to us, which is fine, you know. At the end of the day, everybody isn't going to respect you, no matter who you are, no matter what you do. Just focus on each other and continuing to get better. We know that we can play at a high level in this league. We know we can win at a high level in this league, and we just got to continue to keep proving it every day.
Mentioned the Pacers are third in the East right now, and as was discussed there, this is a deep basketball team. Victor Oladipo is obviously their best player. My question for you guys is this a better regular season team or playoff team? Because they don't necessarily have that superstar guy who scares you in a postseason scenario as good as Oladipo is.
I don't know if I agree with you about Oladipo. I think Oladipo is a guy that...
You think he's there?
I think he is a guy that in today's NBA, he's a problem in a playoff setting. And look, this is a league right now where you're either a super team or you're a team with quality depth and emerging stars that you're going to hope can carry you deeper into the postseason than they normally would. I think about Boston last year without Kyrie and Gordon Hayward. They relied on a similar formula, quality depth as opposed to one or two superstars carrying you. Denver has a team to me right now that's built exactly like that. So I'm not as concerned about the top end of the Pacers roster. I'm more concerned about is their quality depth what it needs to be for them to have a sustained playoff run.
So it's interesting. I think people lose sight of how good they were in the playoffs last year.
They were good,
They lost to Cleveland
Yeah.
in 7 games. but I thought it was the toughest series Cleveland had until they made it to the finals, quite frankly.
Agreed.
The Pacers are a team, because they have to be better than the sum of their parts and they have to be on the same page, to some degree, they have to outwork you all the time. And over the course of an 82-game year, that's really difficult. I don't think they have the kind of margin for error to be a high 50s win team. I don't think they can be a 60-win team in terms of their margin for error and their star power. But in terms of their ability to lock in and prepare for a playoff opponent, the number of guys they have on their team, to your point about quality depth, who have basketball IQ, grit and toughness, and are willing to sacrifice for the greater good, is incredible. And their best player, Victor Oladipo, doesn't care anything at all about anything other than winning basketball games. And that puts you in really good stead come playoff time. I think Nate McMillan and his staff will do a great job preparing for series. I think they're a more dangerous postseason team than they are regular season.
Interesting. Yeah, they do have really good depth. I don't disagree with that at all. Trade deadline's coming up next month. Where should they be looking, if at all?
You know, it's interesting. I think the one thing for them, it's complicated with what they have. You don't have a lot of pieces there you can aggregate to go get another star-type player without sort of taking a step back in terms of how you really operate.
Yeah.
But they're a team that by design is going to overachieve. And that means all the pieces they have sort of have to fit together in lockstep. If I was going to bring in anything, and you could say this about any contender, I would want more veteran three-point shooting.
Yep.
Somebody who can actually make shots versus a good contest. But who doesn't want a 6'8" guy that can make threes?
Right,
So.
right.
Yeah, I think the same dilemma that the Pacers are going to have come trade deadline is one that's going to plague every other team around the league that's not the Warriors. And that is there one player out there that pushes us up to that very next level, whatever it is, if it's right,
and do they think they're good enough to get to that next level?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And with a free agent summer coming up, Matt, where there's so many different, scenarios they could play out, I would imagine we're going to see a lot of teams very apprehensive about doing anything crazy because they know what could potentially be coming down the line. When things go haywire in the summer and if one player moves somewhere and it kind of sets the whole world on its axis, then we got an opportunity to do some things that we don't want to jeopardize at the trade deadline.
Well, to that end, though, Indiana's really interesting because they're not a team that's going to sit there and think they are a max free agent destination.
No. Right.
And they only have $60 million on the books for next year. So Kevin Pritchard and Chad Buchanan have the ability to go into trade deadline right now, willing to potentially take some money into the future if it can be the right piece for them. And I'm going to throw out a name for you with no understanding of how they make the math work whatsoever.
Sure.
Marc Gasol, if he gets moved from Memphis, playing with that group of guys, playing with a big like Sabonis who knows how to play and can dribble, pass, and shoot, that would be a fascinating piece to put in there and to give Nate McMillan and see what he can do.
You talked about the Denver Nuggets zagging when everyone else is trying to zig. Indiana could definitely do that if Gasol's there with Turner or Sabonis on the floor with him. That would be
Well,
really
and Turner can
scenario.
space off of Gasol and vice versa.
Absolutely.
They'd be able to be really elite defensively in the paint. Let's make it happen. I like it.
Sabonis is great off the ball. Gasol could.
And Indiana has already crashed the party in the Eastern Conference when we weren't expecting it. Nobody looked up and said, hey, there's going to be 5 teams in the East that you have to worry about in that top group, and Indiana's not the 5th team. Right now it's Boston. Right. So they gotta be very mindful of the fact that we talked about Golden State, and do you get worse before you get better with Boogie coming in? Well, if you make a move and you're one of these teams, does it set you back before it propels you forward?
Right.
And do you want to take that risk now when you're already in a really good position if you're Indiana?
If it propels you forward, because you never know when
you don't know.
Roll the dice on these deals. Well, hopefully you have the day off Monday for the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday, which we have helpfully already planned for you. Wasn't that nice of us? The pair of NBA TV games,
did it.
Thunder and Knicks, Magic and Hawks, and then it's a TNT triple header, Pels, Grizz, Rockets, Sixers, and the Warriors in LA to take on the Lakers. Game time throughout the day, really, here on NBA TV, and then TNT takes over inside the NBA when the night ends.